Hey, what's up, guys? This is MPFSU, back with another PS3 Big Dynasty Online update. And we are in, I believe this is week 5 of the Dynasty. So it's been a minute since we had the update, but I'll get you guys all caught up. So let's go ahead and get right into the top 25. And let's see where we're at. I believe the last time we had Ohio State was number 1, and they still are. A lot of good things going on, but let's go ahead and see what Ohio State has been up to in the past few weeks. Let's go ahead and check them out. So it looks like they had a big win against Navy at the beginning of the season. Also, a huge win against Oklahoma State, who I believe was pretty highly ranked at the time, and they were able to get that nice win, 37-14. Then there's easy win against Kent State, huge wins against Virginia Tech by 10 points, who's ranked number 10 at the time. Right now, I guess maybe ranked higher a little bit earlier, but nice win there. And then they had a pretty close win at Wisconsin. So things are shaping up pretty nice for the Buckeyes. They are number 1, and they are pursuing a second national championship. See if maybe Northwestern, I guess that's who that is, could thwart them off their throne there. All right, and number 2 is LSU. Huge surprise here. They've been doing very well, and now they're putting themselves at the lead of the SEC. And let's see what they've been up to. So nice, tight, close win against Boise by 6. Then they had another battle, only winning by 13 against Mississippi State. And then another close win also against Tennessee. So LSU is not looking as dominant as they have in the first season. Maybe have taken a step back, but they are still number 2, but will get a huge test at number 3 Florida. And I believe that game is this week, who is currently 5-0. All right, so let's move on. And yep, next up, number 3 is Florida, and had it pretty easy against Cal. That's a usual game there, 54-10. A nice win in the kickoff classic for Florida. Then they had another easy game against, I guess this is Eastern Michigan, as well as Mississippi State, putting up a lot of points here. Florida has definitely showing that they have some offensive muscle. Nice win against Tennessee, and then a close 3-point victory against Kentucky. Had to pull that out in the last few minutes. Then next up, obviously a huge matchup against LSU. Should be a great game moving forward. Now, Oklahoma State, a surprise team, has entered into the top 5. They have been battling huge, tough games against a lot of great opponents. Starting off the season with a kickoff classic against Clemson with a 4-point victory. Then their huge loss to Ohio State. But then they come back and get a nice victory against Oregon, and now they're pretty much in a good position to pursue a national championship run. Hopefully they can also win the Big 12, but you have Texas looming down there, and West Virginia, who they had some problems with last season, is also in the mix. So we'll see what has to happen moving forward for these guys. All right. So we have Texas there, Michigan at number 6, and then Clemson is at number 7. And they have had a rocky road, but seems like things are moving forward for them as they lose against Oklahoma State at the beginning of the season, then have a back-to-back loss against UGA, and then the upset win for them, which probably gets their season turned around, against Florida State. That was a huge game. We streamed that. It was definitely entertaining, back and forth. Should have some cut-ups for that pretty soon. Next up, they have Arkansas, who's ranked number 20, so that should be a huge matchup for them. Arkansas is undefeated, so let's see what happens there. Next, we have Oregon. Oregon, they had a nice couple of wins to start the season off. Huge big win against Wyoming. Then another win here against Michigan State. And then moving forward, they have this matchup against Oklahoma State, and they lose 29-45. A nice loss for Oregon right there. So let's go ahead and keep it moving. Let's see. So we have Michigan State right here. We have Virginia Tech. And then here's Florida State. We were ranked number 6, but now we're number 11. A nice big tough game against Georgia. Took last few minutes to pull out the win by 7 points. Then an explosion against Louisville with a huge win against them, 56-17. Nice easy win against Pitt, 48-17. And then a upset by Clemson with a nice back and forth battle, 35-31. Nice win at Maryland, 42-17. So Alabama seems like they're falling off a little bit. Let's see, that's rounding out that top 25 there. It's California coming in at number 21. Let's see what they've been doing. So they had huge loss to Florida at the beginning of the season to start off. Not good for Cal and their defense. But then they had some as you know, Cal is a high flying scoring offense, so a lot of points, but also giving up a lot of points as they're scoring 66-47 against Oregon State, 62-40 against Arizona, and then 56-31 at USC. Moving forward, see, Miami is not in the top 25, so we'll take a look at them in the conference race to see what they're doing. Conference standings. All right, let's take a quick look, see what Miami's doing. And as you see there, Maryland was leading the conference, or at least that division. So seeing the Coastal, Miami's actually leading the Coastal currently, making some moves. Let's see, so nice win against Louisiana Tech, close tight win against Pitt, then a blowout loss against Nebraska, then another 7-point win against Wake. So a lot of tight, close wins for Miami. So we'll see how they go with Florida State there looming, Virginia there at Virginia as well. So we'll see how they can maintain that lead in the Coastal Division. All right, now we're going to take a look at the Heisman Watch, see what's been going on with it. So we have Matt Jones of Florida, who's leading the Heisman currently. Last game he had 22 carries, 100 yards, and a touchdown and 3 receptions. Braxton Miller was a little bit, didn't do as much as he's normally doing. He still got the amount of carries, touches that you would see him get, but not as many big yards as the game against Wisconsin was pretty close. And here's TJ Yeldon bouncing in from Alabama, 16 carries, 134 yards, and 2 TDs, and a huge win for them against Ole Miss, 45-10. And DeAnthony Thomas is bringing things up at the 5th spot. And Devontae Freeman there, he had a huge game against Maryland, 26 carries, 224 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Just a nice overall running game for him. Let's see here. So, all right, let's check out players of the week. See where everybody's going and what's going on since week 1. Since we are in week 5, let's go back. So first up, we have Cody Riggs with 3 tackles and 3 interceptions for Florida. The free safety is doing it big, trying to make things happen. We got sophomore Siler Miles from Washington, 19-29, 358 yards, 10 carries for 6 total TDs. Washington's trying to get something started over there. Probably need to get some help over there in the Pac-12. All right, so week 2 we have Georgia's defensive end, Against Clemson, he recorded 6 tackles, 4 for a loss, 3 sacks, and forced 2 fumbles. Just a monster of a game for Sterling Bailey. And then week 2, we have DeAnthony Thomas, 30 carries, 292 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Wow, in a 70-51 win against Wyoming. Boy just went off. All right, now we have Alabama, week 2 on defense. Denzel DeVale, 6 tackles, 4 for a loss, 2 assisted, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And then Matt Jones coming in here on the offense, 24 carries, 213 yards, and 6 total touchdowns. So week 4, we have LSU left in Danielle Hunter, 7 tackles, all for a loss, 5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. What a crazy game! 5 sacks in one game. That's got to be some kind of a record against for LSU. But we have quarterback Braxton Miller, 14 of 18 for 311 yards, 14 carries, 83 yards, and 4 total touchdowns. So he is the player of the week in that huge win they had against Vitech. Seems like when they need him most, he steps up and takes care of business. In the final week here we have today, week 5, we have senior quarterback Cheatham Norrells, 3 tackles, 4 assists, and 3 INTs. Wow, he had a huge game against North Carolina State, and they actually pulled out the win on that one. So good job for Toledo. And then we have New Mexico's halfback Crusoe Gongbe. Is that African? I would think so. A little bit of French, a little bit of African, something like that. I don't know. But 20 carries, 137 yards, and 4 TDs in their win against Texas State, 30-24. All right, so it's been a fun first few weeks. Looking forward to the next couple weeks. And so my next update will probably be around week 10. Just trying to spread things out, give me some time to get these up. So appreciate you guys watching. If you like the content, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.